All right, let's move on to this disastrous appearance by Joe Biden and Jill Biden on The View. We're just going to sort of save the best for last and go in order, because when he first it was just him, and then Jill joined him later on. But when it was just him, Whoopi started out by basically asking how he was. I think that she was doing that in a way to say, like, how are you cognitively? But he did not answer it that way. And maybe I misread how she was asking it. Maybe she really was just like, how are ya? Like asking it generally. But here is how that exchange went.
So the the role that you played in the past was as a puppet for a cabal, for a group of people that literally used you as a puppet. So what, are you Jill's puppet now? I guess that's what you're going to do. If you're going to continue a role that's similar, that's what you're going to do. You're out of your gourd, man. He looks so old and out of his mind. Why would Jill allow him to be paraded around like this?
Well, she got asked about that too and was very, very defensive, but we'll get to that. They also asked him about Kamala and why he thought she lost, whether he was surprised that she lost, and whether or not they still are in communication. And
you should be. Yeah. It's same old sexist and racist bullcrap.
Can you even? He was so delusional, like talking about how they were so successful. I mean, it did him no favors to be on that show at all.
They learned nothing. He is out of his mind, completely out of his mind.
Yeah. They asked him if he thinks that if he would have stayed in, would he have beaten Trump?
He's had the worst 100 days any president's ever had.
Oh my God. It's remarkable, isn't it? There are people in that audience that truly believe that too.
Oh my God.
I know, right? Yeah. And the women, the cows on that stage, which is mean to cows, because I love cows. They believe that too. It's the worst 100 days, you guys. It's the worst 100 days. Really? I mean, the border is the most secure it's ever been. Not even credit for that.
Oh, no. In fact, there was blame for that. I think we have that, a little clip of that too coming up. But one of the things that I just could not believe is that Joy Behar is now trying to position Trump as being obsessed with Biden. And the only reason, like, she went off talking about how, listen just to how many times he's mentioned you in the past 100 days. The only reason that there are a number of times that Trump has mentioned Biden is because Trump is always out there. He is always on camera. He's always talking to the press. He is always addressing questions about his presidency versus the last one. Always. It has nothing to do with being obsessed with Biden and everything to do with how transparent of a president he is.
Right.
But naturally, Joy doesn't see it that way. She just thinks he is like obsessed with
I didn't beat him. Oh my God, you didn't. Oh, this is the thing. You had to drop out, you old fool.
Well, I think he was talking about the other time, but
yeah, but I mean, like, he had to drop out the second time around, and then he got replaced by Kamala. So the fact that he actually has this sense of self-importance, and the reason, if Trump mentions him at all, it's because he has to undo all of the horrible things that he did to destroy the country. He's having to clean up his mess, and it is a giant effing mess.
Oh my God.
I mean, the lack of self-awareness and the gaslighting. I'm just so sick of the gaslighting. I'm just tired of it. I feel like we've just been gaslit for like 4 straight years, and it just continues with these people.
Yeah. Every time that he makes an appearance on anything, he is convinced that he was too successful, almost, that it was such a, he's still looking back on his presidency as a huge success. Dude, it's incredible. It's absolutely incredible.
He didn't even run the country. You were a puppet.
Yep.
You were told what to do. It's unreal.
You guys, if you are on the struggle bus with your bills, don't necessarily do anything drastic. Okay. Like, don't rush to file for bankruptcy. Don't just ignore all the collections notices. There is help on the way for you. It is accessible simply by going to donewithdebt.com. And they have all kinds of strategies to help you get interest rates down, get your payments lowered, get your bills paid off without filing for bankruptcy. And they have people on hand to talk you through this with no obligation. You can have a consultation with them for free. There is no obligation, and you can learn about how they can help you. So it'll help you keep more of your own hard-earned money. You can do it with Done with Debt. Just visit donewithdebt.com and talk with one of their strategists for free. There's no risk. Why would you not do that? If you're struggling, don't be ashamed. Just get yourself some help. Donewithdebt.com. Make sure to tell them that you heard about them from the chicks. And it wouldn't have been a Biden appearance without like at least 15 straight seconds of utter gibberish like this.
Seriously,
did you understand
none of
word of that?
Yeah, the Adderall was wearing off because you know that he was just jacked full of drugs when he went into that interview. How much Adderall does it take to get that guy on a stage? And it was wearing off. That had to have been at the end of the interview. And they were like, cut.
No, because that's before Jill was there.
Oh my God.
That was about midway through. Yeah, that was yikes.
Seriously, though, think of how much they have to do to get him prepared to speak in front of people.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, it's bad. They also, Alyssa Farah probably was asking the toughest of the questions. And she asked, does he take any responsibility for the fact that Trump ended up winning? And did he recognize that Trump has basically secured the border?
Right.
So this is a dual answer that you're about to hear. But the border part is where I was just like,
it's because it wasn't a border bill, remember? It was like full of crap. I know, right?
And has no one told him that the border is perfectly now sealed and shut and closed and safe?
Shh, Blondie.
What the hell? Oh my God.
Mm-hmm. They don't care because they don't live near the border. These women, they don't care. They live in gated communities. They live in gajillion-dollar houses. They don't have to worry about that kind of stuff. They don't. They never have. They never will.
I mean, a great follow-up would have been like, you do realize that it is now secure without any Congress action.
Do you think that you think Alyssa Farah is going to have a follow-up? Seriously.
Yeah, exactly.
She's the token conservative on that panel.
Well, don't forget Anna Navarro, who is a Republican.
Republican. Okay. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So then Jill came. And this was when things went off the rails, because when Jill came, they asked about all of these reports and all these books that are being written by Jake Tapper and whoever else, saying there was some serious cognitive decline going on that ended up not getting reported or possibly even covered up. What do you have to say for that? Joe Biden proceeds to answer in a completely cognitively declined way, a way that made no sense. But the worst part is that Jill had to come to his rescue and then ended up proving how declined he has become because he couldn't even answer the question. Yeah. And she doesn't even realize it, you guys. She doesn't even realize she's doing it. But here is that. Horrifying.
That is, oh my God, she had to save his ass.
Right. Like, what was he even... He was talking about an insurrection and COVID in response to a question about books being written about his brain.
Yes, I know. She had to save his ass. Wow. If that doesn't tell you everything, I can't help you.
I mean,
I know.
How can anybody at this point, after watching that, still say, oh, he was fine. He was totally fine.
Oh, they'll do it.
4 years.
Every single one of those women on The View will do it. Even Alyssa Farah will do it. They'll do it. Because they have extreme TDS and they will absolutely go to bat for that dementia-ridden old fool who's sitting on that stage. He has no idea where he is half the time. And they'll still go to bat for him. It's unreal.
So lastly, there was a clip where they were asking about the criticism of Jill. So they asked Jill, you get criticized for keeping Joe in a cocoon, like that you basically sheltered him from the world. You know, like, what do you have to say for yourself? And you guys, like, her answer, it makes no sense. She's like, well, that's just because nobody could see him.
What?
I mean, I'm obviously paraphrasing.
Yeah, you did.
Oh my God.
We never saw him. We never ever saw him.
That's
Yeah.
her defense. Did you keep him in a cocoon? I was with him 24/7. Okay, so you're saying
Right.
yes? What? I mean,
It wasn't a physical cocoon. I mean, I didn't build a physical cocoon, but I was just with him all the time, and I kept him from view
With
of the
me.
public with me, but it wasn't a cocoon. I
Oh my
didn't
God. Both
build
of
an
them are
apparatus. Yeah, they're whack.